Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be discussing the 7th house of the Zodiac wheel. In astrology, the 7th house primarily governs partnerships, relationships, and collaborations. This house is traditionally associated with Libra, which is also ruled by the planet Venus, and reflects the themes of balance, harmony, and one-on-one dynamics. Careers, jobs, and industries associated with the 7th house often involve partnerships, negotiations, public interactions, and cooperative efforts. Some examples of careers ruled by the 7th house are lawyers, judges, mediators, arbitrators, fields involving contracts, agreements, diplomats, and advocates. Other fields associated with the 7th house are business and partnerships, entrepreneurs in joint ventures or business partnerships, consultants working closely with their clients, public relations officers, and client managers. They're also ruled by the 7th house. Fashion designers, makeup artists, and stylists ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of fashion. Interior design and wedding planning, artists specializing in any form of collaborative efforts, marriage counseling, therapists and relationship coaches, diplomats or acting in a diplomatic fashion or working in a diplomatic environment where you're forced to be diplomatic, conflict resolution experts, matchmakers, and dating coaches are also ruled by the 7th house. Professions involving persuasion and negotiation, such as a sales executive or a sales rep, real estate agents, public speakers, spokespersons, and brand ambassadors, politicians or representatives who rely on a strong alliance are ruled by the 7th house. Foreign service officers or roles requiring peacekeeping, career in luxury goods, jewelry, or the beauty industry is also ruled by the 7th house. Roles in fine dining, hospitality, and event planning. The sign on the cusp of your 7th house and its ruler can provide a deeper insight. Planets in the 7th house and their aspects influence the type of career or industry aligned with this house. If your 7th house is particularly active or emphasized in your chart, for example, having a stellium there, partnerships or collaborative focused careers are most likely for you to thrive in. In Vedic astrology, the 7th house holds significant importance as it governs Kama, which is also known as the house of desires. The 4 aims of life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, it reflects our need for connection, union, and fulfilling worldly desires. In Vedic astrology, the 7th house is known as the house of Kama, or the house of desires. In the 4 aims of life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, it reflects our need for connection, union, and fulfilling worldly desires. The 7th house is traditionally referred to as the house of marriage, governing the spouse, marital harmony, and the longevity of the union. It signifies romantic and committed relationships, and the qualities of your partner are often reflected in that house. Success or challenges in forming and maintaining business alliances can be seen through this house as well. The 7th house shows how one interacts with others in a one-on-one setting. It governs dealings with the public, such as legal matters, negotiations, and agreements. The 7th house governs contracts and all kinds, including disputes that might lead to litigation. It is often analyzed to understand the potential for legal challenges or divorce. Long distance travel or foreign connections, especially related to partnerships or marriage, may also be associated with the seventh house. As a Maraka house, or a house that can indicate endings or challenges, it can show health issues that might arise in life, especially if its lord or associated planets are afflicted. It also governs open enemies as opposed to hidden enemies, which are signified by the 12th house. The seventh house also reflects the desire for companionship and social bonds, representing the individual's need to connect with others emotionally and physically. The zodiac sign ruling the seventh house gives insights into the qualities of relationships and the nature of one's partner. The placement, strength, and aspects of the seventh house lord in the birth chart play a major role in shaping marriage and public interactions. Benefic planets like Venus and Jupiter can enhance harmony in relationships, while malefic planets like Saturn, Mars, or Rahu can create delays, challenges, or unconventional dynamics. Venus, as the natural significator of marriage and relationships, has a strong influence on the seventh house, especially for men. For women, Jupiter is often considered. In Vedic astrology, the Navamsha chart is closely analyzed for marriage and partnerships as it provides a deeper understanding of the seventh house's promises. A strong seventh house indicates harmonious relationships, a supportive spouse, successful partnerships, and popularity with the public. A weak or afflicted seventh house can lead to delays, conflicts, legal issues, or struggles with forming meaningful partnerships. In Greco-Roman mythology, the deity most closely associated with the seventh house is Aphrodite. Traditionally, the seventh house is ruled by the sign Libra, who is governed by the goddess Venus, and in Greek, she is also known as Aphrodite. In mythology, Aphrodite symbolizes love, desire, and the pursuit of harmony in relationships. Libra seeks balance, fairness, and equality, which aligns with Aphrodite's principles of aesthetic and relational harmony. The seventh house governs committed partnerships, both areas deeply tied to Aphrodite's domain. Aphrodite, once often depicted as a figure who fostered partnerships and love, but could also stir desires and challenges in relationships. This reflects the dual nature of the seventh house, which governs both harmonious unions and potential conflicts in partnerships. Aphrodite's influence is not limited to romantic love, but extends to alliances such as those in business or diplomacy, another key theme of the seventh house. The sign ruling the seventh house gives insight into the spouse's personality traits and approach to relationships. If Aries is in the seventh house, the spouse may be independent, assertive, energetic, or impulsive. If Taurus is in the seventh house, the spouse will be loyal, sensual, stable, and values comfort. If Gemini is in the seventh house, the spouse will be intelligent, communicative, youthful, and curious. With Cancer in the seventh house, the spouse may appear emotional, nurturing, family-oriented, and sensitive. With Leo in the seventh house, the spouse may appear confident, dramatic, attention-seeking, and warm. With Virgo in the seventh house, the spouse may appear practical, detail-oriented, health-conscious, and analytical. With Libra in the seventh house, the spouse may appear charming, diplomatic, romantic, and social. With Scorpio in the seventh house, the spouse may appear to be intense, mysterious, private, and passionate. Sagittarius in the seventh house. The spouse may appear adventurous, free-spirited, and philosophical. With Capricorn in the seventh house, the spouse may appear mature, responsible, disciplined, and career-oriented. With Aquarius in the seventh house, the spouse may appear unconventional, intellectual, and futuristic. With Pisces in the seventh house, the spouse may appear dreamy, artistic, intuitive, and spiritual. The Lord of the seventh house and its placements in the birth chart further describe the spouse's background and the nature of the union. If the seventh house Lord is in the first house, for example, the spouse may be highly influential in one's life. Marriage may happen early, as in early 20s or early 30s, and they could have strong leadership qualities. If the seventh house Lord is in the fifth house, for example, love and marriage is possible, or love within the marriage is possible. The spouse may be creative or involved in entertainment or education. If the seventh house Lord is in the ninth house, for example, the spouse may come from a different culture or country and could be highly spiritual or educated. The presence of planets in the seventh house modifies the nature of the spouse and the marriage. If the sun is in the seventh house, for example, the spouse may be authoritative, proud, or from a prestigious background. Marriage may involve ego struggles. If the moon is in the seventh house, the spouse may be emotional, nurturing, and family-oriented. A deeply emotional connection is likely between both parties. If Mars is in the seventh house, the spouse may be energetic, passionate, or aggressive. This could lead to conflicts if not well placed. If Mercury is in the seventh house, the spouse may be intelligent, talkative, youthful, and adaptable. Marriage may involve a lot of communication. If Jupiter is in the seventh house, the spouse may appear wise, generous, and supportive, which is good for a happy and fortunate marriage. If Venus is in the seventh house, the spouse may appear beautiful, artistic, charming, and romantic. Love and harmony will be within the marriage. If Saturn is in the seventh house, the spouse may appear serious, mature, responsible. Marriage may be delayed, or there may be a dramatic age difference between both parties. If Rahu is in the seventh house, or the North Node, the spouse may appear unconventional, foreign, mysterious, or highly ambitious. If Ketu, or the South Node, is in the seventh house, the spouse may appear detached or spiritual, sometimes indicating difficulties in bonding with one another. A well-placed seventh house and a strong seventh house Lord indicates a happy, stable, and fulfilling marriage. An afflicted seventh house, or if there's a malefic planet within the house, this can bring delays, challenges, and an unconventional situation that would arise within the union. Dasha and transits of planets may influence when the marriage will actually occur. As far as the spouse's appearance, with Venus or the moon influence, the spouse may have soft features. With Mars influence, the spouse may be athletic. With Saturn's influence, the spouse may be of darker complexion or mature looking. Or with Jupiter in the seventh house. The spouse may seem broad, well-built, and wise-looking, but those are just examples of what a planet could mean as it governs the seventh house. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.